You had a great time. You laughed, you talked, you were present, or at least you performed presence convincingly enough that no one noticed the part of you that was watching from a distance. And then you got home, kicked off your shoes, sat down, and felt empty. Maybe a little sad. Maybe weirdly hollow, like someone had quietly reached in and scooped something out while you weren't looking. And the bizarre part? You weren't even at a bad party. People were kind, conversations were good, nothing went wrong. So why does it feel like something did? Here's the thing. This experience has a name, it has psychology behind it, and it happens to more people than you'd ever guess. We call it post-social emptiness, and it's not a sign that you're broken or antisocial or secretly a hermit who should live in a lighthouse. It's actually a window into something much more fascinating about how certain minds are wired. So, let's pull back the curtain. Because once you understand why this happens, you'll never look at your Sunday morning crash the same way again. Picture this. Someone who, the moment they walk into a social setting, becomes on. Volume up, jokes land, they read the room like a map. They know exactly when to lean in, when to laugh, when to redirect a conversation that's going flat. They're magnetic, and they're exhausted. This is the person who has quietly learned, maybe from childhood, maybe from years of navigating complicated relationships, that love, acceptance, and belonging are things you earn by being entertaining. So socializing isn't rest for them, it's a performance. And every performance has a curtain call. When the night ends and the audience goes home, the performer is alone with the only version of themselves they never quite showed, the unfiltered, unpolished, slightly anxious one. The gap between who I was tonight and who I actually am can feel enormous. That gap is the loneliness. It's not that they don't like people, it's that they're grieving the intimacy they never quite let themselves have, even when they were surrounded by it. Does that land for you? Maybe not, but maybe it does. A little. Then there's the person who leaves a party and thinks, I talked for 3 hours and somehow said nothing. Small talk is genuinely painful for them, not in a shy way necessarily, but in a nutritional way. Like being served a beautiful plate of decorative fruit that you're not allowed to eat. It looks fine, it's technically food, but you're still hungry. Psychologists talk about something called need for cognition, the degree to which a person is driven by meaningful, substantive thought and connection. Deep divers are high on this scale. They don't just want to know what you do for work, they want to know what keeps you up at night. They want the conversation that feels like it meant something. So when they spend an evening swapping pleasantries and surface-level observations, they come home paradoxically more alone than when they left. They were there, physically, technically, photographically, but the part of them that most needs connection was never invited in. The loneliness isn't from lack of people, it's from lack of depth. The sensitive processor. Here's a strange one. Some people don't crash after socializing because they're sad. They crash because they're overwhelmed, and the two feelings in the body can be almost identical. Highly sensitive people, and this is a real neurological trait, not a personality flaw, have nervous systems that process stimulation more intensely than average. Every conversation carries more emotional weight. Every laugh, every awkward pause, every shift in someone's energy, it all registers, and it registers loudly. Socializing isn't draining for them because they dislike it. It's draining because they're doing 10 times the internal processing that the person next to them is doing, and they don't always realize it. By the time they get home, their system is in full overwhelm, and overwhelm, when it quiets down, often looks a lot like sadness. It mimics loneliness. It creates this aching, low-grade melancholy that makes them wonder if something is wrong with them socially, when really their brain is just finishing a marathon it ran in secret, in real time, while everyone else thought they were just having dinner. Sound familiar? Maybe it's you. Maybe it's someone you love who always seems a little off after a big event. The comparison trap. But here's the twist. Some people walk away from social gatherings not drained, not understimulated, but diminished. Not because anything bad happened, but because somewhere between the appetizers and the goodbyes, their brains started running an invisible, involuntary comparison algorithm. She seems so effortlessly connected to people. He always knows what to say. Everyone else looked like they belonged here. Why does it feel like I was always 3 seconds behind? This type doesn't lack social skills. What they lack underneath is a stable sense of self-worth that doesn't depend on external reflection. So they go into social settings hoping, maybe unconsciously, that interaction will fill a specific gap, that someone will see them, really see them, and the seeing will feel like proof of something. And when the night ends and that proof hasn't quite arrived, not in the form they needed, the loneliness hits like a slow tide, quiet but total. The cruel irony is that these are often some of the most interesting, genuinely warm people in the room. They're just running a cost-benefit analysis their brain invented without their permission. And then, last one, and this one's a little sneaky, there's the person who keeps people at arm's length not because they don't want closeness, but because somewhere along the way, closeness became dangerous. Old story, old wound, but the body remembers. These are the people who engineer just enough connection to feel the warmth of it, but pull back before it gets real. They're funny, charming, great at parties, and completely unreachable. And when everyone goes home, they're sitting with the very thing they choreographed: distance. They're lonely because they built it, carefully, expertly, for reasons that once made perfect sense. The loneliness after socializing for this type isn't a side effect. It's the destination they've been quietly driving toward all night without realizing it. Recognizing that pattern, just seeing it, is the first genuinely brave step toward changing it. So, which one is you? Maybe a blend? Maybe you rotate depending on the season, the crowd, the version of yourself you brought that night. That's allowed. What's worth sitting with is this. Feeling lonely after socializing doesn't mean socializing failed. It often means there's a more specific, more honest kind of connection that you're actually hungry for. And now you have a slightly better map of what it looks like. If this kind of psychology is your thing, the kind that makes you go, wait, that's exactly it, stick around. Drop a comment with which type resonates most. And if someone in your life just gets quieter after every party, send this to them. Quietly. They'll know why.